Good evening, everyone. We'll get underway. Before we get started, just letting you know that this session is being recorded and may be used in our marketing and social media later. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. Selamat datang semuanya. Welcome everyone. Tonight I recognise the land of the Awabakal people where I'm dialing in today. I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging and recognise that sovereignty was never ceded. Corethics acknowledges the Indigenous cultures of the world across some 90 countries. We recognise their connection to land, waters, plants and non-human species and their wisdom of custodianship passed down through generations. We extend our acknowledgement and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. It is our commitment to raising the voices of Indigenous peoples in international development. So thank you so much for joining us tonight as we bring to you Corethics' 5th annual Water for Bali Film Fundraiser 2022. Tonight, I hope you feel inspired, connected and empowered as we deepen your knowledge and understanding of our people and planet, especially our neighbours in Bali. Over the next 25 minutes, I'll be joined by special guests Marsha and Putu Wahyu from IDEP Foundation in Bali as we share with you a project update and water talk. At 6:25, we'll draw the raffle with your chance to win from a prize pool of over $300. First prize being a family pass to Taronga Zoo. Second prize, a VIP tasting for you and 9 friends, along with cheese platter, while also enjoying 20% off wines, thanks to Annie and the generous team at Tulloch Wines. Third prize is a $50 voucher, thanks to Holly Dean Estate. Fourth prize, Corethics Jute tote bag. Fifth prize, a water timer. And 6th prize, bamboo straw pack. If you haven't grabbed your tickets already, please do so. And if you have, grab some more. The more tickets and more entries that you have, the better the chance you have of winning. So this will help us complete crucial work that we need to get done in Bali. Just head to the Humanitics link in the chat and select raffle tickets at checkout. Thank you so much for digging deep. At 6:30, we have a real treat for you, screening the Real Oz In Short Film Festival and Competition 2022. Watch as Australian and Indonesian filmmakers take on this year's theme, Suara Voice, in 10-minute short films. Kita semua punya suara. We all have a voice. What we do with that voice can be powerful to those around us, for our planet and for our people. Not only is this a relaxed way to gather like-minded people for an important cause, cinema also has the power to transform our views and attitudes beyond borders. We hope this draws you closer to our friends in Bali. Don't forget the film festival is a competition, so you can vote for your favourites. A link is provided in the chat for you and will be circulated following the event. The films conclude around 7:45, followed by some closing remarks. The Zoom chat will close at 8 p.m. My name is Melissa Williams and I'm the founder, executive director and program director of Corethics. Why Bali? This is something I'm often asked. Having travelled to the island over a dozen times as a tourist, researcher, and now friend and ally, I fell in love with the beauty of the island and its people. But when I found out that tourism was the cause of water depletion and pollution, all for tourists like me, I was determined to right that wrong. You see, the story of Bali is not just for those who've set foot on her beautiful shores and felt her medicine run through their veins. For you, it could be that off-grid island getaway, that remote community that you shared your family photos with. It's those defining moments in life when we push through the language and cultural barriers and connect. Corethics knows the opportunity we have to transform tourism into a vehicle for peace, and we want to unlock that. Corethics was established to create sustainable and thriving communities in the developing world, and we do so through advancing education and the environment. Our Bali Indonesia program focuses on the protection and conservation of the precious natural resource of water. We do this through our Water for Bali project, which we're all gathered here this evening for, and our Waste for Wealth project, which explores the opportunity of revolutionising the textiles manufacturing industry in Bali through circular economy principles. By treating wastewater, we have the opportunity to create wealth-generating products like biogas and organic fertiliser. Our work also contributes to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 6, 12 and 17. Check out our website www.corethics.net for more information and subscribe for all the latest news and quarterly newsletter. A link is also provided in the chat. Bali is often depicted as an abundant tropical paradise, but freshwater is disappearing from her water table, which has dropped 50 metres in 10 years. Lake Buan, the second largest freshwater reservoir in Bali, has dropped 3.5 metres in just 3 to 5 years. 60% of her water table is dry. This disproportionately affects the poor, whose wells run dry while affluent counterparts continue to draw from the table at unsustainable depths. In 2013, 43% of Bali's population had inadequate access to water. So what's the solution? In partnership with IDEP Foundation and their Bali Water Protection Program, we take a root cause and evidence-based approach to make water accessible now and for generations to come. Here's how your powerful donor dollars are making a difference. Adopt a well. Building recharge wells across the island to capture Bali's high rainfall in the wet season and direct it into the water table to replenish the availability of groundwater. This solution offers many benefits, including groundwater conservation, reduces floods, stops seawater intrusion. This low-tech and cost-effective solution has proven in India and showing increase in groundwater within just 1 year. It costs around $3,000 to install a well. Adopt a river. This education sub-program targets school-aged children and includes a recharge well manual to help schools protect and maintain the recharge wells which are built inside the school grounds. It also includes comic books about water and general ecological information made available in school libraries. A curriculum of fundamental biospheric water are taught, as well as tree planting activities, which you can see on the screen right now. It costs around $1,000 to deliver this program. And finally, adopt water. This involves public awareness campaigns delivered through webinars, talk shows, festivals, and other highly visible ways of engaging every single person in Bali. This sub-program ensures that not just school children, but all members of society play a part in the protection and conservation of water today and for generations to come. It costs around $1,000 to deliver a public awareness campaign. Thanks to the generosity of individuals like yourselves, it has made a significant impact to our friends in Bali. To date, IDEP Foundation has delivered 56 recharge wells, 108 primary schools have received environmental education, including tree planting activities, and an annual target of 10 water public awareness campaigns, such as water talks, podcasts, and speaker sessions at live events in Bali, are all being reached. The word and work is spreading far and wide, and we couldn't have done it without you. It's a race against time to construct 80 more recharge wells. Once they're in, effective water capture can commence across the island. Right now, so many parts of Bali are underwater, flooding, and landslides are destroying communities. It's heartbreaking. If those wells were already in, imagine how fast the water table would fill. We are so close to completing this important project. So if you can make any further donations, please dig deep. Just click the Humanities link in the chat. Thank you so much. Water for Bali, as you can see, is complex and is more than just water. That's why each year we discuss themes within our project. This year's theme is poverty and water. What is poverty? We often hear about it in economic terms, living on less than $2 a day or below the poverty line. And this definition is useful because it helps us to understand poverty better by quantifying it. But poverty is more than this. It is all-encompassing. Poverty is hunger. Poverty is the lack of shelter, clothing, education, and water. It is the vulnerability to events outside of one's control. It is no safety net. Poverty is being excluded from decision-making, those who are voiceless and powerless in our communities. Sadly, these disempowering characteristics of poverty are often sustained through the structures and institutions of our society. Basic human needs, basic human rights. Maslow's hierarchy of needs illustrates where poverty and water intersect. You see, without basic physiological needs like water, you have poverty. And until this need is met, forget employment, forget health, forget loving relationships, respect, civil power, and stepping into one's power. It all starts with water. Clean water unlocks the shackles of poverty. It is my pleasure to introduce you to our first special guest, Marsha the Communication Officer in Bali Water Protection Program at IDEP Foundation. Her role is to facilitate communication between donors and beneficiaries, giving platforms to local communities and raising awareness among the general public. Her motivation lies in creative social change through design education and community empowerment by implementing human-centered solutions. Please welcome Marsha.
Hi everyone. It's very nice to be here. Thank you, Melissa, for the time. I'm Marsha. Nice to see everyone here to join to hear the talks about the ongoing condition about water in Bali. But first thing first, the session is going to be opened up by my colleague right here. This is Putu Wahyu, right next here, and he's gonna explain more about the background, about our program, and also about the poverty situation that's been going on in Bali, and also its correlation to the tourism industry as well. So please, Putua, you can take the floor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Um, Thank you for inviting us. My name is Putu Wahyu. I am a IDEP Foundation program staff. Today, I will sharing about poverty and also the condition of Bali water. So yeah, we are from IDEP Foundation, local NGO based in Bali. We're focusing about permaculture, sustainable agriculture, disaster risk reduction, and also water conservation. So yeah, next, Marsha. Bali water protection is one of IDEP Foundation program who focusing with the water conservation. As we know, Bali, from the data, is the third province in Indonesia with the lowest poverty rate. At least Bali people making under 46 dollars per month. But however, for the water consumption, make up 20% until 25% in their income. In some areas, one household could spend up to 45 Australian dollars per month only for water. Next, Marsha. As we know, Bali is really famous with tourism, and Bali still depending with the economy with the tourism. But however, 65% water source are mostly used for tourism industry, for the hotels, villas, and also the other facilities to concern with the tourism, which resulting in drought and also shortage of water for locals. So only 35% the people in Bali using the fresh water. Next. So this there are several news actually from the local news show us about water problem in Bali, because a lot of peoples in some area still difficult to find water, especially fresh water for basic needs. And also I think last weeks there are disasters, disasters in West Bali, who destroy the freshwater piping and make, and also it's getting worse. Next. So for the farmers, only in dry seasons, the farmers needs at least 30,000 liters water per month. We have farmer groups in Tabanan, Bali, located in the highland, close to the mountain. They really facing a problem to get water, not only for basic needs, but for watering the plants, because some case in Bali and also Indonesia, the weather, the season is very unpredictable. Last I think before pandemic 2018 2019, dry seasons in Bali, I think at least 6 months only for the dry seasons. So it makes a lot of farmers have a problem to get the fresh water. Okay, next, Marsha. And also Bali facing another problem with freshwater exploitation and also seawater intrusion. If you see the first map, it is a map for seawater intrusion. So in South Bali, this in South Bali is this is an area with the mass tourism. So if we see in the maps, there are the red colors. It is indicate the area have a seawater intrusion. So that's why if you visiting Kuta, Sanur, Canggu, if you taste the water pipe, it will be a little bit salty. And the second maps, groundwater exploitation, because most of Balinese people use groundwater to be their basic needs for the households and also to the farm. Okay, next. And this is the seawater intrusion illustration. Actually, we tried to compare the healthy water tables and also Bali's aquifer situation. So yeah, if you see the last map that we show you before, Bali's aquifer situation, it's getting worse year by year. So we try to have an alternative solution to return fresh water into the aquifer by rainwater harvestment. Next. And also we do a research on water quality by water sampling point, and also to testing about the quality standard. Okay, next, Marsha. And this is the water potential versus the needs. We tried to testing in a several area in Bali, and that show actually this is very fluctuative. It depends on the seasons. When rainy seasons, we in Bali we have a lot of water, but in the dry seasons it will be decreased. So for from this statistic, it's mean that excess water has not been used optimally for water reservoirs in the dry season. Okay, next. So yeah, Bali Water Protection Program, we tried to to offer a tree solution, adopt a well, adopt a river, and also adopt a water. Which is adopt a well. We tried to installing 136 wells. We call recharge wells to improve drinking quality fresh water supply located in 6 regencies in Bali and also in the sister islands. Second, adopt a river to provide water stewardship education in 300 elementary schools in 9 regency in Bali. And also adopt a water. We try to raising awareness among the public about the importance to protect water resources and climate change. Next. Next, Marsha. Okay. For the detail about the program, Marsha will continue it. Thank you, Marsha.
Yeah, thank you, Putu Wahyu, for the description, for all of the description about our program. So in short, as Melissa have said and Putu Wahyu have explained before, this is our recharge well and how it looks like, how it usually looks like in elementary school that we've implemented. So these are the pot on top is actually just a decoration, so people know that there's a well there, but underneath is what conserve the or trying to inject the rainwater back into the groundwater aquifers. And so we develop a map of catchment area. This is just to show that which area is most ideal to implement the recharge wells. So we make sure that building a recharge well in the coastal area wouldn't be ideal because all of the water would just go straight back into the seawater, into the I mean, like, it won't stop the intrusion to stop from happening. But like if you build it in the dark green zone or dark green zone, it's most ideal because using gravity, we also use gravity to push the seawater intrusion back into the sea. And this is the illustration for the recharge wells. So usually we also build rainwater catchment as well in houses, offices, or like in public places. And it is went through the filter. Our natural filter is made from palm fibers and also gravel. There's the gravel here, and this is the recharge wells, usually 12-meter depth, but also the digging one is 4 meters depth. This is the technical drawing for our recharge wells. So there are usually 4 to 8 holes, 10 centimeters the diameters, and also 12-meter depth right here. And this is what we've done so far. We've built 56 recharge wells in local elementary schools, and also at the same time it's a campaign as well for students to know about the water crisis in Bali and their village's water situation. And like going along with the installation of the wells, usually schools has also create a program. It's called Clean Friday or Cleaning Friday. So every Friday they try to clean and keep the wells clean or the school area clean. And on the side, probably like in the agriculture world, we also implement the recharge wells, but the recharge wells is implemented with the rainwater catchment as well. This is in Tabanan area with our farmers called Pak Wayan Jarmin. And this is testimony He usually have to buy water. He usually spend $150 Australian dollars per month to buy water in dry season. But these past 2 years, he doesn't have to buy water anymore. The water used to cost him 25% of his farm yields, but after the appropriate technology installed, it only cost him 10% now, and with better water quality as well. Um, yeah, this is the other supporting image for everyone to see in details. So this rainwater catchment is leading to the tank here. It's 5,000 liters tank, and the access of the rainwater is dropped down to the recharge well here for for groundwater recharge, because the Tabanan area is in the highlands. And apart from that, we also have a Dopa River program. It's an educational program where we trying to teach children, or like to teach elementary school students through online teachings, online presentation, and also educational materials such as comic book and also coloring books. And apart from that, we also have an excursion going, like we have tree planting activities with them as well, so they can see how is the forest situation really is right now, and they can plant trees and they can learn about the endemic plants in their area. um, because of last year, this is our program since last year, and due to the pandemic, everything is still online. So we do a lot of online Zoom meetings, online classroom, but also we distribute educational media offline as well to them, such as the comic and coloring ones. And this is we doing the tree planting activities, but I think it's mangrove trees though. That's why it's near the beach area. And this is in detail of the picture that we've took so far. We've planted 100 trees every location. So we've done tree planting activities in 5 villages. So, but yeah, we need to do still monitoring about the tree situation as of right now, and how is it going to be preserved. And the last bit is Adopt a Water. It's a campaign activity. It's, as you all know, from what Putu Wahyu had said, tourism plays a big part in like the groundwater conservation in Bali, as they use like 65% of water. And so it is very important to raise awareness about this issue, to not just for the local, but also for the international or the global market, about about the water crisis situation in Bali. So hopefully through the campaign, such as we have online festival, we have our documentary movie, we released them last year, and we also have webinars and also IG live and social media live about the water crisis in Bali, and we invited people to have talks as well and discussion about the situation. Hopefully through that we can promote this issue and be heard by the governments, and the governments could create better regulations or implement better regulations for everyone to follow, and not just so it's not just us, it's always like promoting this issue as well. The government is actually have a program. It's called One Island and One Management System, but it's still it's still going, like it's still undergone a lot of changes right now. So it's not implemented yet. So I think that's all from us, from Bali Water Protection. If you have any question, if you want to reach out, you can just reach out to us, whether if you're visiting Bali, or you can reach out to our email address right here or phone number right here. Thank you. Um,
Thank you so much, Marsha.
yeah.
Okay, so we've come to the point in the evening where we hand it over to our audience to see if anyone has any questions they would like to ask, whether that's questions for myself or for Marsha or Putu Wahyu. If you're a little bit shy, please feel free to use the chat function and drop those questions in. Maybe you have some comments, or maybe there's information that you learnt this evening that you found really astonishing or really interesting. So we'd love to hear your feedback around that as well. So while we wait for that to come in, I found the impact of, building, the water container and then running that into the recharge well, and the results that yields in a really quick amount of time is really fantastic to hear, and particularly for farming. As you know, through COVID, that must have been really tough for the island. So yeah, I don't know if you wanted to share a little bit about that briefly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So through COVID, actually, there's a mental shift after the COVID. There's a mental shift going on in Balinese and locals. We used to heavily rely on tourism industry, and also a lot of like farmers, a lot of locals from farmers background, and they shift to tourism because it makes more money. It's better for economy as well in Bali. But after the pandemic, they realized that they can't just rely on the tourism industry, and so a lot of them goes back to their roots. A lot of them goes back to farming instead, and so the government realized this as well, and they go back to, and they I think their focus shifted from tourism into agriculture right now. And so right now in Bali, we're trying to I think focus more on agritourism. So in a way, how to create an agriculture that can also act as a tourism magnet, tourist magnet for everyone to see. But I think what's important is for everyone to not, not everyone shift focus back into tourism, but to still remember that we have this land, we have this weather, and so it's most ideal to focus on agriculture, really.
So interesting. Thank you, Marsha.
Thank
and
you.
So we have a question that's come in. How many farmers are able to access recharge wells from your program?
Okay. Maybe Bli Putu Wahyu want to answer that?
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, for on recharge well only for farmers, we offer we at least we have like six families who have recharge wells, and also for the rainwater catchment. So this is like a one system. So yeah, I think until 2022, we only have like only for farmers six farmers.
Wonderful. Thanks, Putu Wahyu.
Yeah.
Any other questions before we get into the raffle? Okay. Well, thank you so much to Marsha and Putu Wahyu for sharing the program with us this evening. It was fantastic to hear from you, from the field, and everything that's going on. Is the Australian government aware of the issue with tourism and the water impact? I could make a comment on that. I'm interested to know, Marsha and Putu Wahyu, if the embassy or any Australian government officials have been interested in the Bali Water Protection Program from your side of things.
As far as I know, we haven't like reached out to any Australian embassy about the program or raise any concern to them as well.
We have, on the Corethics side of things, we have certainly reached out to the government, our politicians. I speak with our federal leader here in Newcastle about the issue, to sort of take it further. They feel that, inherently there is a responsibility that Australia has, since we make up some of the highest numbers to the island. So it's certainly a conversation that I think is becoming, after COVID, and seeing, the impact that had on Bali, and, as Australians start to return to the island, you see, businesses are shut down, families have gone into poverty, barely eating. You hear a lot of these traumatic stories that are coming out. And so Aussies are bringing those stories back and reflecting on that. So this is a great time to be really Australian, to be committing to programs like IDEP Foundation's Bali Water Protection Program. Great question. Any other questions?
Melissa, could I ask a question?
Yes.
I've enjoyed that presentation. I think it's really interesting, and it's one that both of you have hit on a number of issues that really education seems to be the gap. You've identified issues there, but I'm interested in your view as to how training and education can add value to what you're doing.
Maybe Marsha, or?
Yeah, Marsha, would you?
Marsha.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the last question?
Marsha, what I was asking was, from an education point of view and just training, what do you identify as potential needs to assist you in communicating what you're trying to achieve, and how it could be best done using education or training as a tool?
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Well, as of now, we're trying to have a lot of knowledge exchange between experts and also with professionals as well. And we're trying to localize that knowledge within the people here. So we're trying to create, apart from just conversation, we're also trying to create a workshop with the locals as well, so they can be more involved in this issue, not just listening or like looking at this issue from social media or from like poster, but they can think and initiate solution for their villages or their own areas. And the knowledge itself, if we keep it local or we keep it like national, it will be very limited. So I think it will be interesting to know from experts or professionals or international, so we can bridge the knowledge that they know, and how we can implement it here.
Okay, all right, no, that's good, thank you.
Sounds like
Sounds like
a bit of a nod for collaboration there.
Well, and that's what we need to be working. I mean, we add value in different ways. So it's very interesting learning more about the issues from both Putu and Marsha. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter, for the question. Yeah, it's been interesting as well. So lately we are involved in Bali Fab Fest in IDEP Foundation, and we create a prototype for the wells as well, to improve data collection from the wells, and also hopefully through that, through creating the sensor, we can also create training and workshops for the locals, so they can learn how to digitalize the data, and also how to make the sensor, how to learn more about what is it called, like the electronics or the technology side of things, because in the rural areas usually they are lacking in those significant areas. So it's really interesting to see where it goes, and that's why knowledge exchange is important for us as well.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, we might wrap up the Q&A there. Thank you so much for your questions, and Putu Wahyu and Marsha from IDEP Foundation Bali Water Protection Program. We really appreciate you dialing in today and sharing with us firsthand what's happening in Bali and the important work that you're doing with the Bali Water Protection Program. So thank you so much. So now let's move into the raffle. So just want to say a big thank you to our sponsors, Taronga Zoo, Tulloch Wines and Holiday Inn Estate, for helping us as our sponsors for a prize pool of over $300. Proceeds from the event this evening will go to IDEP Foundation's Bali Water Protection Program to help them build recharge wells and deliver education. So on behalf of Corethics, we would like to thank everyone who's been involved and supporting this really important cause. So, sixth prize, the Putu's bamboo straw pack, made up of 3 small and 3 large straws. The bamboo, which is in abundance, is shipped from the north of Bali and handcrafted in cotton bags by Putu and his family in their compound situated in the village of Singakavta in Ubud. This is slow ethics in action, which supports makers to produce slowly and respects the value of makers' time to participate in cultural rituals such as ceremonies. The winner of Putu's bamboo straw pack is Sally Ward. Congratulations, Sally. She couldn't make it this evening, but I'm sure she'll be thrilled with her prize. Fifth prize is Corethics Water Timer. The average shower lasts 8 minutes and you can use as much water as the average bath. An 8-minute shower uses 76 litres compared to a bath, which is 80 litres, which costs the average family about $700 a year. So to help you save money, water and energy, Corethics 4-minute water timer has you covered. The winner of Corethics Water Timer is Wendy Hicks. Congratulations, Wendy. The fourth prize, Corethics tote bags, made from 100% natural long-wearing jute cotton blend, lovingly crafted by survivors of the 2013 Rana Plaza collapse. These women cannot work in large-scale factories due to injury or trauma. This is slow ethics in action. A talent taught to each generation, this craft takes time and care to produce beautiful products that are one of a kind and kind to the planet. The winner is Lisa Rebbit. Congratulations, Lisa. Hope you enjoy our Corethics jute bags. Third prize is a $50 voucher from Holiday Inn Estate, a beautiful 1.5-hour drive from Newcastle to Jerry's Plains. Enjoy the breathtaking views and award-winning food and wine. Holiday Inn was recently named as finalist in 3 categories: tourism restaurant, restaurant in a winery, and consumer vote in the prestigious Restaurant and Catering Association Awards for Excellence 2022. The winner is Narelle Batten. Congratulations, Narelle. Second prize, valued at over $100. Enjoy a VIP wine tasting with cheese board for you and 9 friends, plus 20% off wines and free shipping Australia-wide. Thanks to the generous team at Tulloch Wines, located in the world-class area of Colburn, Hunter Valley, and now neighbouring Cocoa Nib, the artisan chocolate shop. This is a real treat for you and your loved ones. The winner is Casey Ramika. Congratulations, Casey. And the first prize, the one that we've all been waiting for, a family pass for 2 adults and 2 kids for Taronga Zoo, Sydney, or Western Plains Zoo, Dubbo, if you're ever down that way, valued at $156 thanks to Taronga Conservation Society. More than a zoo, Taronga has a deep commitment to conservation science, including research, education, and wildlife care. The winner is Meryl Van Emmerich. Congratulations, Meryl. But thank you all for contributing to our raffle, purchasing tickets for this evening's event. Now it is over to the film. We can't thank you enough for your support. In the chat function, you'll see, and we've mentioned in our talk this evening, that unfortunately there is an emergency situation happening in Bali. There are regencies that are struggling, that bridges have collapsed, landslides are happening, villages are underwater. and emergency aid is being taken out. So if you can, and you're in a position to do, please help. Whatever you can would be really magical. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the film. So coming up now, we've got the Real Oz Ind Film Festival. Afterwards, after the films are finished, there will be a chat, so you'll be able to meet the makers and the hosts of Real Oz Ind by Australia Indonesia Centre. So without further ado, I will share this with you all. I hope you have enjoyed the talk and enjoyed our special guests and enjoy the films that come ahead.